Going to start her down in the farm segment like we do each and every week at the single A level at Rancho Cucamonga. Boy, they had a crazy game last night. This is from 2 nights ago. You're seeing Wyatt Crell. The Rancho Cucamonga Quakes are in Stockton, so that is Stockton's feed. You're seeing from behind home plate. Usually you see it from behind the center field wall, which is why I like to get video from behind home plate, because it's unique. But hey, this is Wyatt Crell from a couple of nights ago. 2 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts, and no walks. So obviously trying to ramp him back up. Just got back just about a month ago. Drafted last summer out of Florida State, and I have communicated with several people from Florida State, and he was just absolutely beloved there. Wonderful program there in Tallahassee, Florida for the Seminoles. So really making a lot of splash early in his career, kind of like Luke Fox came onto the scene. Patrick Copen's another guy. Eric Swan, if you can get some more innings. A lot of good pitching in that draft from last summer. Really making a mark. Wyatt Crell, ERA 0.82, whip 0.71. 25 Ks, 17 strikeouts so far. He's just 22 years old. And so what I really like about him, as you watch, I mean, it's very obvious right there. That's a nice slider. He is very advanced in his sequencing. And kind of like I was talking about Chris Campos, of which I'm going to release our interview with him here in just a couple of days. I'm super excited about that. He's advanced in the sequencing. He's a part of the process, kind of like Justin Robleski. And when that happens, you get more buy-in. And when you get more buy-in, you get better execution. So I think we're seeing that from Wyatt Crell and his production there with Rancho. So super exciting to see him. Tough angle to see from, but directly behind home plate. I love that swing of Oswaldo Osorio. I just love how he stays above the baseball. I love how he's line drive oriented. And it's just, I mean, look how direct he is to this ball right here. I mean, that is just a really direct, very balanced, head down on the ball, tilted over the plate, stays over the ball, and still, he's still centered even right here after he's completely swung, now moving towards first base. I just love that swing. I don't really worry about numbers and statistics when they're in single A level. I mean, you're liable to. I mean, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes have had several of these guys where they're throwing it like 2,000 miles an hour. There's a view, and see, views up the middle, ground ball up the middle right there. You heard Mookie Betts the other day talk about just get the ball up in the air, hey, get it past the pitcher's mound, that kind of thing. All of those hits, they all count. I promise you that. So it's Oswaldo Osorio, one of those another young guys that I love just the way he approaches. I love the way he stays balanced. I love the way he stays through the ball and uses all fields and is line drive oriented. So I wanted to show you another video of Oswaldo Osorio, who had 2 hits last night, and he played shortstop. Another shortstop prospect, Shawn McLean, Alex Freeland. Of course, you have Trey Sweeney at the AAA level. Taylor Young, Austin Gauthier kid play shortstop. And then you have William Diaz. You have Emil Morales. You have Joandry Vargas. I mean, this system right now is loaded with shortstops. About 2 or 3 years ago, while we were doing the Dodgers Prospects podcast, Tim Rogers mentioned that the Dodgers were loading up on shortstops because they didn't feel like they had had enough in the last couple of years, and they have done that. And so we see it now at every different level. Lots of shortstop, then also Noah Miller at the high A Great Lakes level. Don't want to forget about him. Lots of depth at the shortstop position. Oswaldo Osorio is in that mix, and I love his young swing. Congratulations to Jeral Perez, who is going to play in the Futures game at All-Star Weekend with catching prospect Tyrone Lorenzo. That is an absolutely huge deal for him. There he is right there. You see on the screen. That is a big honor and very, very, very well deserved. Perez is a really top prospect. I mean, he is a good hitter, very direct swing. Here you see him hit this home run to left field. So you've seen a base hit to left field. You've seen a home run kind of to left center field. And there's Kendall George, by the way. And you're getting ready to see a base hit to right field. So another one of these guys in the system, young international hitting prospect, that was trained to hit line drives, trained to just hit the ball hard, and stay inside the ball like you saw there and use all of the entire field. The hitters that use the entire field, it doesn't matter where you throw them as far as location on the plate. They have less holes, and therefore they should be able to hit more of a multitude of locations of pitches and types of pitches. So, hey, good night last night for Jeral Perez, and congratulations for being honored to be a part of the Futures Game and All-Star Weekend. Hey, I've said it a couple times. If you follow me on social media, Shawn McLean, starting about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, taking the best swings of his career. Been playing a lot of first base. He is a wizard at shortstop, has a great glove. I don't know if that's injury related. Of course, we talk about Alexander Albertus and Wilman Diaz and Oswaldo Osorio. There's a ton of shortstops on this roster that are all very good. Shawn McLean being one of them, so that probably has the most to do with the fact that he's playing first base. But definitely a wizard with the glove at shortstop. Has been swinging the bat better than he ever has as a pro. You can see right there, staying on that breaking ball right back up the middle. Last night, he was a big part of the big comeback. As we said, Rancho got down 8-1 and came right back and won the game. 3 hits last night, just like Osorio, you've seen here. Hit the ball to all fields. And when you hit the ball to all fields, you have less holes. I love that. He also scored twice, and he walked as well, so he was on base 4 times. He's 9 for his last 16 in his last 4 games. So, hey, Shawn McLean, we've always known the defense is there, waiting on the bat to show up. It has in the last week or 2. So going to spend quite a bit of time on Double-A Tulsa. Not going to talk about Rancho. They were rained out last night. I believe they have a doubleheader today starting at 4:30 Eastern time. Don't exactly quote me on that, but that's probably pretty close, give or take an hour here or there based on what part of the country you live in. And then the night before wasn't really anything to really report about. And then I was in Tulsa, so got a lot of great video. This is Jerming Rosario. Actually got a chance to talk to him. What a wonderful young man. Did not interview him. He was actually sitting in the dugout while I was waiting on Chris Campos, Logan Boyer, and Lucas Webb. And he was listening to his earbuds and had a chance. There's Kendall Williams, by the way. There's Logan Boyer behind him, who's throwing very well. So got a chance to talk to him. Wonderful young man. Got to see him pitch live and in person, and I'll tell you what, the thing that sticks out about him, it's the way that he layers his off-speed pitches. And then also, see that, let me back that up. Watch this fastball here. I want you to see here just how naturally, let me get to it right here. I want you to watch how this ball cuts across the zone very naturally. That's going to move away from a righty and into a lefty and work just kind of as a natural cutter right there. That is very sour and lourish, and there's that nice slider. So those pitches right there are about 7 or 8 miles apart from each other, and there's another 4-seam. Then you can also throw the 4-seam up in the zone. There's another 4-seam up in the zone. So he was 93 and 95. I was sitting actually with a Detroit Target Tiger Scout. There's a slider there that's about 88. And then also a Dodgers Scout. And so he was throwing that fastball 93, 95. Then he was throwing that cutter at about 88, 89. There's that fastball again that kind of has that cut across the zone. Then he was throwing a slider, that one there. That was probably 85-ish, 86. Then he was also throwing a curveball that was high 70s. So the way that the ball kind of came across the zone, that right there, and then also the way that he layered his off-speed stuff, and then also he gave up 3 runs in the first inning. So he could have just kind of caved in for the night and said, screw it, this isn't a good game. But he didn't. He stayed composed, he kept battling, and then strung up zeros from then on out and did his club a really nice job. So it was fun to see Jerming Rosario. I could not wait to see him in person, and he did not disappoint. I was super excited. I was walking down to the bullpen area and was going to take the video that you just saw of Jerming Rosario while he was doing his bullpen work, and then saw that Jainer Fernandez was going to catch that night. So, hey, Griffin Lockwood-Paul caught last night. Jainer Fernandez caught the night before. This is Tuesday night, and he had 3 hits. It's almost like by going back home to the catcher's spot, it just really energized him and revitalized him in a way. I say that he's been actually hot as of late. It was a slow start for Jeral Fernandez. It has been really fast here as of late. Matter of fact, last night, so he had the 3 hits on Tuesday night. Last night, he had a double and a triple, 2 RBIs. He scored twice. Like I said, the 3 hits on Tuesday. He's hitting .409. Jeral Fernandez is so far in July. And check this out. Jeral has raised his batting average by 42 points since June 15th. So, hey, we all know, this is actually Alex Freeland. Let me back this up. We all know how tough Jeral Fernandez is. We know how much respect everybody in the organization has for him. He's a super happy-lucky-go guy. I mean, he's just a lot of fun to watch. So, wanted to show you Jeral Fernandez live from the stadium. Man, I'll tell you what, Ronin Cop is back, or at least I hope he is. He looked back the other night. The dude was throwing absolute darts, 4 seams to the top of the zone. His slider was good. He grunts like crazy. I mean, it's like if you ever hear a tennis player whenever they serve and they grunt, that's what he sounds like. Nolan Ryan used to grunt whenever he throw it to home plate. And the thing about him, hey, yeah, obviously I knew that, I think he got up to 98 the other night on the radar gun. He's chasing that 100 miles an hour. But he just looked, just watch him right here, and just walking on and off the mound, the mannerisms, all that, just looked absolutely, totally confident. And so that's a really big deal for him. Really good pitcher, very talented. I always comp him to Andrew Heaney. That slider right there, that thing was dirty. I mean, I'm telling you. Of course, I have my camera set up, but I'm actually watching too, so I'm not looking through a camera when I watch these guys because I want to make sure and not do that. He's one of the guys that in person has really popped as much as anybody else. I was super impressed. See right here, Ronin, very confident. I mean, just kind of walking like, yep, that's how I do things. That's how these things go. Just another 0. So very impressed with Ronin Cop and wanted to show you his outing from the other night live from the stadium. All right, this is DK right here, man. Damon Keith, my man, the young man out of Cal Baptist. This is his full at bat, and guess how, boy, he is competitive, man. He didn't like that pitch, obviously. And this is me from, I'd say probably, this is the concourse, but a little bit down the first base way and trying to zoom in as much as I can to keep good quality. That is a grand slam, young man. Touch them all. So how about this? For Damon Keith, since he returned, last month, whenever it was, he has 3 walk-off hits, 1 of them being a home run, the other 2 being off the same pitcher, and now a grand slam. And by the way, Damon Keith is hitting .294. His OPS is .908. He's hitting .333 so far in July, and his OPS this month is .1012. This guy right here, this trunks, man, his lower half, this guy's huge. I mean, he is a hulk of a human being. Nice hit. So how about that? You hit the grand slam, then your next at bat, you get that base hit right back up the middle. That's a lot of maturity there. So great job, Damon Keith, a young man that is just a real grinder, had that hamate injury. And I'm going to stall around here and talk about him a little bit till we get back to his grand slam so we can see it one more time in this video. Got off that hamate injury, and boy, has he made a splash right there since he's been back. That a boy, DK. Hey, that a boy, Lock. You got the catch last night. This is Griffin Lockwood-Paul. I actually got a chance to talk to him the other night. Going to interview him next time I go to Tulsa. I'm not exactly sure what that date is, but it will be not too long from now. Here are some full at bats. 2 home runs last night. This actually isn't from last night. I wanted to show you the live video before we get to last night's 2 home runs right here. Here we go. Griffin Lockwood-Paul, Cup Pal right there. How about that? That is home run number 1 for him. Thing about him, versatility. He catches, he plays first base, he can play the outfield, he can do anything you basically need him to do defensive versatility wise, as far as 3 or 4 different positions. And then also he's very versatile offensively. So he kind of does he does this right here. He hits home runs, he uses the big part of the field, he hits the ball the other way, he hits behind runners, he does a lot of fundamental things. So I think the biggest part of Griffin Lockwood-Paul is that you're getting a jack of all trades, both on the offensive side and the defensive side. So I wanted to show you the 2 home runs of Griffin Lockwood-Paul. Maybe the most underrated player in the entire system. You're looking at him right now, the 2022 Big Ten B1G Player of the Year, Bubba Alleyne, who, had a down year last year. Not going to sugarcoat that. We have the tough conversations here. at Dodgers Daily. Dodgers Dogs is part of the Dodgers Daily Network. Having a great year this year, Bubba Alleyne. 2 hits last night for Double-A Tulsa, and what I think is maybe the most underrated season of any player in the system, because it just seems like you never hear about Bubba Alleyne and this kind of type of season he's had. And not only the most underrated season, like I said a minute ago, I think the most underrated player, maybe the most underrated player in the entire system. Matter of fact, he's hitting .278. OPS 816. He has hits in 4 games in a row, hits in 6 out of his last 12. And if you remember, I posted on my social media that great catch that he made. If I can see it here without getting a little bit right here. I'm going to show you this. Made that Jim Edmonds catch. That's Orlando Ortiz, Mayor, on the mound. So this catch has been being compared to Jim Edmonds. Go get it, young man. Look at that. Bubba Alleyne was super excited to get to see River Ryan in person. And boy, he did not disappoint. Gave up a couple of runs all on the same home run, and he threw 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, just 2 walks. 4-seam was super explosive for River Ryan. It touched 98. Slider was 89 to 91. Slider had huge bite on it. I mean, I was very impressed with the slider from behind home plate. Looked like he threw a couple sinkers outside to lefties. I don't have that confirmed. It just looked like that to me, as well as throwing that sinker in on the hands of righties. We talked about that several different times. He's on that train to where on same-handedness, you're throwing that sinker to move it in on their hands, and then the cutter to the opposite side. So, like, it'd be a cutter to a lefty for Ryan, a sinker to a righty, that kind of thing. The Dodgers have really started to do that. There's Alan Trejo, by the way. Got a chance to talk to him yesterday. Going to release that interview probably sometime tomorrow. So, hey, River Ryan, definitely put him on the front of your Rolodex. Very impressive in person. They hit a ball that was in between kind of third and pitcher's mound. He bounced off. Great. I mean, it made it look very easy. Probably the best pound-for-pound athlete in the entire system. I know Justin Robleski will tell you that he can windmill dunk, that kind of thing. So, River Ryan has mad hops, as Robleski said. And so, great athlete, big arm. It's still fresh because he didn't throw a whole lot at UNC Pembroke, didn't throw a whole lot in high school, and then they rested his shoulder at the beginning of this season because of the workload. If there's that play right there, hopped off the mound. That's a really nice play, very athletic. So if you haven't checked out our interview we did with him last week, go. It's on our Dodgers Daily YouTube. Go check that out. But a good outing last night for River Ryan. Always excited when I get the chance to watch Diego Cartaya. Have not got a chance to interview him yet. Was not going to request an interview from him last year through his struggles. I mean, what are you going to ask him whenever he's in the middle of a season that's not going the way that he wants? So out of respect for him, never requested an interview, was not going to. Now that he's back on top of his game, I'm going to go down tonight, Friday night, and hopefully he's taking BP and ask him if he'll interview during BP. Very respectful of these guys' times. He'll either say yes or he'll say no, but look at that pitch right there. Got to that inside pitch. Was talking to some people inside the organization as far as the game plan they had for him going into the season, and I really obviously can't reveal anything that we talked about in that conversation, but I'll just say this. The things that they put in front of him as far as the game plan and the things that they wanted him to do, he has done absolutely in spades this year, and so they're super excited about where he is at, super excited to see that he's bounced back and got back on top of his game. And we all know how just one thing that this person inside the organization said was, hey, one thing you always knew about Diego is that he is an elite work process guy. He has elite work ethic. He's a great human being. So you knew all of that was always going to be there. Now the game plan put into place is actually working, and it's fun to see. So there's a good look at Diego Cartaya. All right, so the last guy we're going to talk about, my man Wardo. There's a pop-up right there. This is an entire at-bat, just so you can kind of see his entire process when he goes through an at-bat. Is going to end up eventually hitting a triple to left center. And if you notice that pitcher, if he looks familiar, yes, that is our good friend Nabil Crismat. Remember when he was with the Dodgers? Good to see him again. I actually have an interview with him here on the Dodgers Daily YouTube page. Watch that. Hey, hit that William Tell overture and kick it into gear, young man. Ryan Wardo with the triple. Good to see that. By the way, Wardo has a major league ready hit tool. No doubt about it. You can believe that or not if you want. But now the defense, he doesn't play center field. He played first base last night, so there is some defensive versatility between right field, left field, and first base. But he doesn't play center field like Andy Pages does. But I'm telling you, his hit tool maybe is the best hit tool of any prospect. Include Andy Pages into that. In the entire organization. Ryan Ward, he can just flat hit. I mean, he had a down year last year. I did talk to him about that last time I was there. We tried to coordinate a couple of interviews, couldn't get it together. He's very busy right now, so very respectful of his time. He mentioned that, hey, this year's way better than last year, so not going to hide from the results of last year. Even he said, hey, this year's a lot better than last. But every other year, I mean, and even going back to his college days, this guy's always hit. He hits in his sleep. He hits for power. He hits for average. His strikeout rates, are very explainable by his independent strength numbers and all of that. So just wanted to show you the hit tool of Ryan Ward in person and just remind people that this guy's hit tool right now is Major League caliber.